Hi friends, welcome back to Nitved Bioscience. Let's continue our discussion on triacylglycerol metabolism. We had already discussed in the previous lecture that if it is a well-fed strand, then there will be the synthesis of triacylglycerol, and if it is a fasting stage, then the hydrolysis of triacylglycerol will take place to generate ATP. Yeah, its ultimate goal is to provide energy to the body in during the fasting and the prolonged starvation. Okay, so the synthesis of triacylglycerol in our body is known as a lipogenesis, and the hydrolysis of triacylglycerol is known as lipolysis. So lipogenesis we had already discussed in the last class. The link of the same lecture is available in the description box, and today we will discuss the lipolysis, that is the breakdown of triacylglycerol under the heading TAG metabolism. Today we will discuss lipolysis. We had already discussed what is triacylglycerol. Triacylglycerol, it has a glycerol backbone and to which 3 fatty acids are attached. Means it is a ester of fatty acid with glycerol. Alright, so during the synthesis there will be the sequential addition of the fatty acid to glycerol backbone. So it will generate the triacylglycerol, and today we are discussing the lipolysis, means the hydrolysis or the breakdown. So during the breakdowns there is a sequential one by one removal of the fatty acid, and ultimately we will get the glycerol and fatty acid. So it will undergo the hydrolysis. It will release. Okay. So in the presence of water molecule, so we will get glycerol and 3 fatty acids will be released. So the sequential one by one there is a release of fatty acid from the glycerol backbones. So this process is known as a lipolysis, and which takes place during the fasting and prolonged starvation. Okay, so let's discuss the process and the enzymes involved in the process of lipolysis. Lipolysis start with the triacylglycerol. Three fatty acids are attached to it. CHO, C double bond O. Here R2, R1, R2 and R3, it is for the fatty acid 1, 2 and 3, and CH2O, C double bond O, R3. So this is the structure of the triacylglycerol. It is acted upon by the enzymes ATGL, adipose triglyceride lipase. Adipose triacylglyceride lipase. So here the hydrolysis of TAG will take place, and it will release the 1 fatty acids. So the structure we'll get here will be like that. R1 CH R2, and now here the hydrolysis will take place. 1 fatty acid will be removed, so we will get here CH2OH. This is the structure of diacylglycerol. Diacylglycerols. We will get the diacylglycerols after the release of 1 fatty acid from triacylglycerol. Now here another enzyme will come, that is hormone sensitive lipase, and it will release the 2nd fatty acids. So structure we will get here R1 CHOH and CH2OH. Okay, so first one fatty acid, then second fatty acid, so only we will remain with the one fatty acid here. So the name of this product is monoacyl glycerol. Monoacyl glycerol. And now finally the enzymes come here, monoglyceride lipase, and we will get the glycerol and 3 fatty acids will be released here finally. So monoglyceride lipase, so we will get, okay, we will directly write like that. So finally we will get glycerol plus 3 fatty acid. Are you getting what is happening? Triacyl glycerol, it has a glycerol backbone to which the 3 fatty acids are attached. So first enzyme will come, it will remove 1 fatty acid, second will come, second fatty acids, third will come, third fatty acid. So finally we will get the glycerol and 3 fatty acids. 3 enzymes are ATGL, adipose triacylglyceride lipase, hormone sensitive lipase, and third is a monoglyceride lipase. So we will have the glycerol plus 3 fatty acids. So this is just very short process, only the removal of the 1 by 1 fatty acids, and we need to remember just the name of enzymes. Now what will be the fate of glycerol and fatty acids? Because we had discussed that why this process is happening, to generate energy during the fasting and the starvation. So what will be the fate of glycerol and fatty acid now? So TAG, after breakdown we will get glycerol and 3 fatty acid. This glycerol will be transported to liver. Here it will get converted to glycerol 3-phosphate, and which can be utilized in the TAG synthesis. Or one thing, it can be utilized for TAG synthesis, or this glycerol 3-phosphate can be converted into dihydroxyacetone phosphate, which has a two choices. Either it will enter into glycolysis and the final product, we know that the final product of glycolysis is the pyruvate, or it can undergo the process of gluconeogenesis, which will synthesize glucose. Okay, so this is about the fate of glycerol. Glycerol will transport to liver, it will not remain in the adipose tissue. Lipolysis, yeah, I forgot to mention, the site of lipolysis is the adipose tissue. So glycerol will not remain in the adipose tissue, it will come out of adipose tissue into liver. In the liver, it can be activated to glycerol 3-phosphate, which can be utilized into synthesis of triacylglycerol, or it can convert into dihydroxyacetone phosphate, which has a two choice or two path. Either it can undergo into the glycolysis, we will have the pyruvate, or gluconeogenesis, so will synthesize the glucose. And what will be the fate of this fatty acid? This fatty acid then enter into peripheral tissue, where the fatty acid oxidation will take place. So we had learned that after the for example, if we take specifically the example of beta oxidation of fatty acids, so there we will have the acetyl CoA. This acetyl CoA then enter into the TCA cycles, and we will have the reducing equivalents like NADH and FADH2, and also in the oxidations we will have the reducing equivalents, and which will enter into the electron transport chain, and finally it will generate the energy in the form of ATP. So this is the fate of fatty acid. Fatty acid oxidation will have the acetyl CoA, and acetyl CoA enter into TCA cycle, will get the reducing equivalent, and which will enter into ETC, so finally ATP. So this is all about the lipolysis. So we had discussed about the lipogenesis and lipolysis, which will come under the heading of triacylglycerol metabolisms. In the next class, we will discuss the regulation of triacylglycerol metabolisms, under which circumstances lipogenesis will take place, and under what circumstances lipolysis means, what are the deciding factors. Okay, so I hope you are liking this video. If you like this, then please like, share and subscribe. Thank you.